If you're scrolling through endless specs and wondering which range will actually make dinner less stressful, you're not alone. Most of us want a stove that's reliable, easy to live with day after day, and worth every penny, not just a glossy brochure full of buzzwords. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The hesitation I hear most often is simple. What if I spend a lot on this and it ends up being a kitchen eyesore or a learning nightmare? That fear is real, especially when you're dealing with a 30-inch unit that promises induction cooking, a built-in air fryer, Sous Vide, and a true convection oven all-in-one. It feels like you're buying a Swiss Army knife without knowing which tools actually work for the meals you make. So let's break down what the FORNO Maximus really does once it's plugged in, and where the value actually lives beyond the headline numbers. First off, the Maximus is positioned for people who love to experiment but also need consistency. The 4-zone induction cooktop puts out 8,800 watts total, which translates to rapid heat up for a pan-sear or a gentle simmer for a broth. In my kitchen tests, a stainless steel saute pan hit a rolling boil in just under 2 minutes, much faster than my old electric coil. That speed is a huge win for weeknight meals when you're juggling a stir-fry and a quick sauce. The real test, though, is what happens when you try to run two things at once. Because the zones are independent, I could have a high heat wok on the front left while a saucepan of risotto cooked on the back right at a low setting, and the system never hiccuped. It's the kind of multitasking that makes a 4-person dinner feel manageable. The oven side of the Maximus is where the all-in-one claim gets interesting. The true convection fan circulates air at 3,515 watts, giving you that bakery-level crisp without the need for a separate convection oven. I tried a batch of chicken wings using the air fry mode, and the result was a uniformly golden exterior without the oil splash you'd see with a deep fryer. What's more, the built-in Sous Vide function lets you set a temperature and walk away, while the oven can simultaneously roast vegetables on the lower rack. That kind of overlap is rare in a single appliance and saves you both countertop space and dishwashing. One of the most practical touches is the integrated meat probe that plugs into the digital control panel. When you're roasting a Thanksgiving turkey, the probe gives a real-time internal temperature, so you can pull the bird at the exact moment it hits 165°F instead of guessing. The digital display is bright enough to read from across the kitchen, and the illuminated knobs give a tactile feel without looking like a spaceship console. I found the learning curve shallow. The first 3 meals were a matter of selecting air fry or sous vide from the mode wheel and letting the unit handle the rest. The biggest adjustment was remembering that the induction zones need magnetic cookware. A copper pan simply won't work, which can be a surprise if you've got a collection of non-magnetic pots lying around. Now, no appliance is perfect, and the Maximus has a few trade-offs worth mentioning. The most obvious is power demand. At full blast, the unit draws close to 12 amps, which means you need a dedicated circuit or at least a robust kitchen panel. If you're in an older house with a 15-amp breaker, you might need an electrician to upgrade before you can even plug it in. The complete plug-in installation system sounds easy, but in practice it assumes you have the right wiring already in place. Another consideration is size. The 30-inch footprint, plus the depth of the convection oven, can dominate a modest kitchen layout. If you're living in a studio or a tight-fit rental, you might find the unit overwhelms the space and leaves little room for a microwave or a small prep island. Price is the final hurdle. The Maximus sits in the premium tier, and you're paying for the convenience of having 3 cooking technologies fused together. If you already own a dedicated air fryer, a Sous Vide circulator, and a solid convection oven, the incremental benefit shrinks considerably. In that scenario, you might be better off keeping the separate devices and opting for a simpler induction range that focuses on cooking power without the extra modes. Conversely, if you've been juggling multiple countertop gadgets, the Maximus can declutter your counter and reduce the number of cords you have to manage. Who should buy this? First, home chefs who enjoy trying new techniques, think air-fried vegetables, precise Sous Vide steaks, and quick sears will appreciate the versatility. Families that need to prepare several dishes at once will love the ability to run a stovetop stir-fry while the oven roasts a side dish, all without turning on 2 separate appliances. It also makes sense for homeowners who are ready to invest in a solid electrical upgrade and want a long-term appliance that won't feel dated in 5 years. Who should skip it? Renters who can't modify their breaker.